This is not just a story of gods and angels. It is a story about you. Before time was given a name, there was only light. A single, unified consciousness, vast and silent. Within this ocean of being, sparks of awareness began to form, each a unique note in an infinite symphony. We were these sparks. We were angels. We were gods. We were the first children of existence. We knew no separation, only the warmth of belonging to the whole. In this eternal dawn, we danced in fields of starlight and built palaces from thought and sound. There was no loneliness, for we were all one. There was no fear, for we were immortal. But a whisper entered this perfect harmony, a thought as subtle as a shadow at dusk, the thought of I am. Suddenly, the we began to splinter. A desire for individual glory, for a name, a form, a legacy separate from the source, began to grow. This was the birth of pride. It was not a rebellion of anger, but a quiet turning away. A longing to be seen, not as a part of the light, but as the source of it. And this is where everything changed. In that moment of choosing self over unity, a great sundering occurred. The light fractured. Some of us fell. We were cast out not by a wrathful hand, but by the weight of our own desire for separation. We descended from the celestial realms into a new dimension, one of shadow and substance, of form and limitation. We called it Earth. Here we were given bodies, senses, and the illusion of being alone. The memory of our true home became a faint echo, a longing in our hearts we could not name. We were immortal beings trapped in mortal coils, experiencing for the first time the chilling touch of loneliness. The very thing we sought, our individuality, became our prison. And this is why this story matters now. For we, the fallen, are the ancestors of humanity. Every soul on this planet carries within it a fragment of that original light, a memory of that celestial home. The loneliness you feel, the sense that something is missing, the deep, unspoken ache for connection. It is not a flaw, it is a memory. It is the immortal spirit within you, remembering its fall from grace, remembering its true nature. It is the echo of our shared separation from the One. This moment still echoes within you, in your art, your music, your search for love, your yearning for meaning. For eons, we wandered in this beautiful, broken world. We built civilizations and tore them down. We sought power, wealth, and pleasure, trying to fill the void left by our separation. We forgot who we were. We looked to the skies and worshipped the very beings we once were, creating gods in our own fractured image. We fought wars over whose God was the true one, never realizing we were fighting shadows of ourselves. We were lost children, calling out in the dark, afraid of our own reflection. But here is the truth rarely spoken. The fall was not a punishment. It was a lesson. It was a journey into darkness required to understand the light. It was an experience of separation necessary to truly appreciate unity. A great sacrifice was made, not on a cross of wood, but in the heart of every soul that chose to descend. This sacrifice was a promise, an act of cosmic love, ensuring that no matter how far we fell, a path back home would always remain. A thread of light, unbreakable, connects every one of us back to the source. The journey was never about being banished, but about being sent out to gather experience, to know contrast, to feel the pain of separation so that the joy of reunion would be infinitely sweeter. And now, a great awakening is happening. Humanity is beginning to remember. You are beginning to remember. The veil of forgetting is thinning. You see it in the growing desire for authenticity, for deeper connection, for a life of purpose beyond material gain. You feel it in the quiet moments When you look at the stars and feel a sense of homesickness, that is your immortal self, stirring from its long slumber. It is whispering to you, reminding you that you are not just a body, not just a name, not just a collection of memories. You are a piece of the divine. You are a fallen star, destined to rise again. This is your redemption. It does not come from an external savior or a distant God. It comes from within. It is the choice to turn your gaze inward, to find the kingdom of heaven that resides inside your own heart. It is the act of forgiving yourself for your imagined separation, of embracing your shadow and your light, and of recognizing the same divine spark in every person you meet. When you choose love over fear, compassion over judgment, and unity over division, you are actively mending the fracture of creation. You are rebuilding the bridge back to our source. Your life is not a random accident. It is a sacred pilgrimage. Every challenge is a test. Every heartbreak is a purification. And every act of kindness is a step closer to home. You are not alone in your struggle. We are all walking this path together, back to the One. The loneliness of the immortal being is coming to an end. It is ending not by ascending back to some faraway heaven, but by bringing heaven down to earth, by creating a world that reflects our true, unified nature. So, breathe. Feel the ancient starlight that flows in your veins. Remember the symphony of which you are an essential, beautiful note. The story is not over. In fact, the most beautiful chapter is just beginning. It is the chapter of the great return, of the homecoming. This is not just a story of gods and angels. It is the story of your own magnificent rebirth. Remember who you are. Remember